Now, there's the 9 games. There is a game that came out last year.
Mm-hmm.
I have specific notes. That game is called Mortal Kombat 11. I like Mortal Kombat a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There, you see it there. It's my favorite game of all time, minus Mario and Zelda. It has been excommunicado from the thing. There's at this time of this filming this show, there's no reasoning towards it. They have not came out and said this is the reason why the game's not at the show. There are some speculations. The thing with NRS games is they die off quickly. You know, I feel like maybe I should have some Mortal Kombat footage up while we're talking, just so this isn't boring. But there is, they have just a real small shelf life for whatever reason when it comes to the competitive scene. The game will come out, it'll be fucking hot fire. And like last year, it had 1,500 plus. It was the 5th highest. It was 5th place in terms of registrants for EVO 2019, above Dragon Ball Fighters, by the way. Way above Dragon Ball Fighters.
Does anyone still play that?
Dragon Ball Fighters?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
apparently.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the thing is the amount of competitors that entered in for Dragon Ball Fighters was monumentally smaller than at Mortal Kombat 11 last year. But yet they bring back Dragon Ball Fighters, which had a smaller.
So just based on that data point, you're indicating that there's something else happening here.
Yeah,
Besides,
I do think that there is absolutely something happening.
I tend to think it's fairly obvious what's happening.
do you think it's on
Yeah,
the?
Go back to the list of games. Like, pull up the Evo screen again, real quick.
Damn it.
Just real fast.
Yeah.
Just pull it up.
I'm pulling.
Look at the list of games. Other than like, Sam Show has some, but what do all of the other games have in common that Mortal Kombat does not? How many of those games can you rip a spine out of?
Well, Sam Show is the only other game that's rated M. Sam Show is rated M.
Yeah.
It's not graphic by any means, but you know.
But that's,
No, I think you have a good point there. I do think that it had something to do with the level of violence.
Yep. And it's specifically, the level of violence is an issue specifically because they put EVO on TV.
I think that's a very, very solid reason. Now, I don't have sources for this other than the Sama, but the Sama was telling me the other day that he saw there was a tournament, MK11 tournament just recently that only had like less than 100 entrants. So it's possible that their numbers have just dwindled so small that it just wasn't worthwhile. But also, I do think you've probably hit the nail on the head, Jake, with the violence level. I think that's probably why it's not here.
Just the crushing blows alone are probably enough for ESPN to tell them to eat it.
Yeah. Another thing is they've got Combo Breaker. Combo Breaker is essentially like the EVO for Mortal Kombat 11. The Hadao is very close with Ed Boon. It's in their hometown of Chicago. That's the thing. Plus, they've got Final Combat coming up. They've got all kinds of other stuff. The Sama says his source for that was MK Tom Brady.
Oh, okay.
I'll just say that that's probably still not a great source. That dude's not reliable, but it's possible.
Yeah.
He's definitely more into the industry than I am when it comes to MK competitive, but he's also kind of a weird chode. But I think
If that is the case, can I just say I think that it's weird that they want to go that far out of their way for an outmoded like service like CNN, like TV or ESPN or wherever they're going to show it. Like,
that's the thing.
Streaming is where it's at now.
Yeah, you say that, but they can. Let me throw this at you real quick, Gordy. I'll give you $50 if you use this one product.
Okay.
Or I could give you $75 if you use both.
True. There you go.
Like
I mean,
there's the mindset. Money talks.
If you want to, air it on television, then. But
it's not a hard thing for them for the TV studio or whatever to do either, because they literally just pull up the fucking stream.
Yeah,
that's all they do. So it's the people running the tournament make money for putting it on TV. The TV studio makes money for putting it on TV. It's a win-win for everybody. There's just one caveat: don't literally rip a dude in half on screen.
Now
that's unfortunate.
Let me devil's advocate a little bit for another possible reasoning, and I really hate to be this person because. Let me preface this because I'll probably put this portion on YouTube where thousands of NRS people will come crawling. I love Mortal Kombat, but for some reason or another, it just doesn't really land well with other fighting game fans. Like if you're a Street Fighter guy or if you're really into the anime fighters, you just don't like Mortal Kombat. Like it just doesn't resonate. I've heard a lot of people make the claim that MK11 isn't particularly exciting to watch in a competitive sense, which I do agree. I think it's great, but you know what? When we were watching the Street Fighter 5 and stuff like that, sometimes these other games are just a little bit more exciting to watch for whatever reason, just the way they're designed. They just haven't quite nailed it on the head how to do Mortal Kombat, so it's really exciting for a spectator. Now, the other thing that I think, and this is the thing that bothers me most about Mortal Kombat's competitive side, is it's always the same fucking 8 nerds that are at the top, and it's always the same 2 fucking guys that are in the top 2, and it's always the same fucking guy that wins the whole thing every time. And that at this point, it's just like, what's the point? It's not exciting to watch these same fucking people fight each other. The cool thing about like Street Fighter and all these other games is it's always different. There's so many great players. It's always different. There's always different people in the top 8. I mean, there's always a lot of the same, but it's always different. Not the same person's going to win every year. But with Mortal Kombat, Sonic Fox is going to win, and that's how it's always going to be. And it's just not that exciting. And I think that puts a big damper on the spectator version side of the sport. So that's
interesting.
My thought there. What are your thoughts?
I tend to agree with what you just said. I think Mortal Kombat 11 is the most exciting Mortal Kombat to watch competitively.
Yes,
because of all the crushing blows, all that shit that show up.
I agree with that. I do think that it's the most gorgeous game. It has the biggest budget of all the games that were there, but sometimes it's not everything. I do think that graphically it's unmatched.
No,
it's very interesting
in that regard. But if you put like Street Fighter or Under Night up at the same time as Mortal Kombat, I'm probably not going to watch Mortal Kombat.
Interesting. Yeah, that's fair.
But I do adore that game. It is very fun. My thing isn't up, but I liked it enough to go to a tournament and took second. So
what I think would be cool, whatever they end up doing with the future of Mortal Kombat, if they could change the way they design the game to the point where it's a little bit more friendly for other players, and just a little bit, I don't know. There's got to be a way to break through so it's not just the same group of people over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who can say, man?
If only they just bring back MK2 competitively.
There we go. Then we'll get some new champs.
Adam running over and over and over again.
So, yeah.
This has actually been a clip from our gaming and gaming culture show, The Boss Battle Show, that airs on twitch.tv/R24Live. You can also listen to the audio versions on any of your favorite podcasting services around the world. Thanks, nerds.